And weren't those the most adorable little porcupines you've ever seen? For our next segment, we'll be taking a look at some kittens that apparently think that... Oh, hold on. It looks like those kittens will have to wait. We have some breaking news. There was just a concerning and apparent smash-up at the old elm tree in town. Our on-field reporter, Devin Burke, is currently at the scene, ready to report what has happened. We go live to you. Devin?
Thanks, Mohammed. I'm here in town with local Ned Hale, who apparently witnessed the whole thing from his front porch. So Ned, what can you tell us?
Well, I live in that house over there, and, I hear a little commotion, so I come outside, and I look down on my stairs, and I notice, my sled's missing. So I'm thinking, like, where is my sled? You know, I know I put it down there. So I look down the hill, right in my backyard, and I notice there's my sled, and there's Maddie Silver and Ethan Frome. And I'm like, hey, that's my sled.
Wait.
And,
Maddie was riding with Ethan?
oh, that's Dennis Eady. Dennis, come up here.
Who is Dennis Eady?
Oh, he's my friend. Him and Maddie
Hi.
are real close.
I'm Dennis Eady.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Can you repeat that for the viewers at home? All right, so Ned over here tells me that you're Dennis Eady,
Yeah, I'm Dennis Eady.
and you know Maddie Silver?
Yeah, I took her to the dance a couple months ago.
Wow.
Church dance.
Yeah, they're kind of a thing.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
They're kind of a thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is she doing with Ethan?
I don't know.
All right, back to you, Mohammed.
No.
Thanks, Devin. We will be sure to update you as the story develops. Now back to those kittens. Hold on. I'm just getting word that Devin has spotted Ethan Frome. We're cutting back to Devin.
All right, Mohammed, you'll never believe it. We just spotted Ethan Frome. We're gonna try and get a question out of him. Ethan!
Are you sure this is a good idea?
What's good idea? I said good idea.
Let's go.
Ethan!
Ethan Frome.
Ethan Frome, are you okay? We heard that you were... Would you like to make...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of Starkfield. Last week, we covered a story in which Ethan Frome and Maddie Silver were reportedly involved in a devastating smash-up. As many of you are now aware, the two are alive and well and are home safe and sound. But the real question is, what were they doing in the first place? News sources allege that the act may have been intentional. Following up on our mystery is our on-field reporter, Devin Burke.
Thanks, Mohammed. What seemed to be a horrendous accident now looks to be the intended climax of an apparent love affair. I'm joined today by a local townsperson who has lots to say about the incident but wishes to remain anonymous. And so to do that, we're going to be blurring her face and altering her voice in this interview.
Hi. I am a distant relative of Maddie, and I've only been here for a couple of days. Years. And she's so untrustworthy. I feel bad for Dennis for falling in love with such a terrible person. Not to mention Zena, who thoughtfully agreed to take her in, even though none of us wanted to take her in, after her dad was so shady. Zena and Ethan have a great existing relationship that Maddie ruined after she decided to become a home wrecker. I guess the apples doesn't fall far from the tree. Zena was so amazing. And Maddie, I need a break.
You know what?
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Back to you, Mohammed. That anonymous tip that was given to my father was actually from Zena Frome herself. Mrs. Frome unfortunately passed in the cold winter months of last year. Today, I'm joined by Ethan Frome, who has agreed to reveal all of the secrets he had managed to keep hidden all these years. Maddie Silver has refused to be on camera. Good morning, Ethan. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm well. Thank you for agreeing to do this. Why do you think Maddie refused to do the same?
I don't speak for Maddie, so I can't tell you that, but she probably feels guilty.
And why did you agree to do so?
Because I don't feel guilty.
Were you surprised to find out that your wife was the anonymous tipper?
No, not at all.
Why is that?
Zena was, a harsh woman. I mean, you should have seen the way she treated Maddie. Those first couple months, that must have been hell for that girl.
You talk about how harsh she was. I'm assuming you didn't know this when you first married her?
No, I didn't. But I didn't think about her nice qualities when I married her either. I never loved Xena.
So, why did you marry her?
I felt obligated to. She took care of my mother for so long, and when she died, I was lonely. It was cold, and I didn't want to be alone. Sometimes I think if my mom had died in the spring, I wouldn't have been with Xena. And I guess I wouldn't be with Maddie today either.
Wait, are you in a relationship with Maddie today?
No. I didn't mean... I meant that I wouldn't be here in this house with Maddie. Anyway, we decided after the accident that a relationship would just be inappropriate.
So you're just living together?
We're just living together.
After the interview with Ethan Frome, I was approached by Jotham Powell, who also requested to be questioned. I joined him today in his house. Good morning, Jotham.
Good morning, Humphrey. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Now, Jotham, why did you want this interview to be held?
I wanted to clear Xena's name.
Can you explain to the viewers at home what your relationship was to the Fromes before the smash-up?
Yes, I was a hired man at Frome Farm. I performed many daily tasks. I cut trees, I loaded them up, that kind of stuff.
Now, Jotham, I have to tell you something. The other week, when you approached me about wanting to do this interview, I returned to the Frome household and asked about you. They told me you also provided transportation duties for the Fromes, is that correct?
Yeah, I drove Xena to the doctor this one time.
And when you returned, Ethan recalled unusual, and it says here, vaguely ominous behavior on your part?
What? How did I show any unusual behavior?
It says here that when Mr. Frome offered to provide dinner, you refused.
Yeah, buddy, I don't see where you're getting at here.
This was the first time you had refused dinner, Mr. Powell. Why did you refuse dinner that night?
There wasn't a reason, I just didn't want...
Mr. Powell, did something happen that night with Xena Frome?
Nothing happened that night with Xena Frome.
Why did you want to clear Xena's name today?
Because it wasn't right. I wanted to help.
Mr. Powell, did you have romantic relations with Xena Frome?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Was that night the first night that the two of you had openly and mutually conveyed interest in one another?
No, it wasn't.
Thank you for your honesty. We done here? Thanks, Mohammed. What initial...
Is it that?
Oh my god!
I was about to start laughing. I started talking because I could see all of y'all.
You're not... Oh, you don't...
Thanks, Mohammed. Thanks, Mohammed.
The pause.
Thanks.
We're never gonna get this.